When you think of the Netherlands, you probably picture tulip fields, canals, and a nation of cyclists. The Dutch are known for their directness, progressive values, and a strong sense of fairness. Their social safety nets and egalitarian spirit are legendary. Even the Prime Minister cycles to work. But what if I told you that beneath this image of equality, the Netherlands is actually the most unequal country in the developed world, at least by one crucial measure? This isn't a wild exaggeration. It's a statistical reality that challenges everything we think we know about Dutch society. To understand how this paradox exists, we need to dig into the mechanics of the Dutch economy. Let's get straight to the point. When we talk about inequality, most people immediately think of countries like the United States or Russia. But what if I told you that the world's most unequal nation, in terms of wealth, is actually the Netherlands? According to recent studies by the OECD and Credit Suisse, the Netherlands stands out as having the highest level of wealth inequality among developed nations. This isn't just a minor difference, it's a dramatic gap that surprises even seasoned economists. Not the US, not Russia, but the Netherlands. It's a fact that challenges our assumptions about which countries are truly the most unequal. This seems almost impossible in a country that's famous for its strong labor unions, progressive tax policies, and a social safety net that's the envy of much of the world. The Netherlands is often held up as a model of fairness and equality. When it comes to income, the Netherlands is indeed one of the most equal societies on earth. Wages are relatively balanced, and opportunities for education and healthcare are widely accessible. But shift the focus from income to wealth, what people own, not just what they earn, and the picture flips completely. Suddenly, the Netherlands looks very different. A tiny fraction of the population holds most of the country's net wealth, while many Dutch families have little or even negative wealth, often due to high mortgages or limited assets. The gap between the richest and the rest is staggering. How did this happen? The answer lies in the unique features of the Dutch system. Its tax laws, housing market, and pension structure all play a role in shaping this surprising reality. To truly understand why the Netherlands tops the charts for wealth inequality, we need to look closely at the difference between income and wealth, and how Dutch policies have created this unexpected divide. Income is what you earn, your salary, your pension, your business profits. It's the money that comes into your pocket on a regular basis, whether from your job, retirement, or the success of your own company. For most people, income is what pays the bills, puts food on the table, and allows for a few extras in life. It's the steady stream that keeps daily life running smoothly. It's the flow of money into your life, the cash that arrives each month and gives you the means to live, save, or spend. Income is often predictable, and for many, it's the main measure of financial health. Wealth, on the other hand, is what you own: your house, your savings, your investments, minus your debts. It's the total value of everything you've built up over time, not just what you bring in each month. It's your net worth at a given moment, a snapshot of your financial position. Wealth can grow or shrink, depending on how much you save, invest, or owe. The Netherlands has low income inequality. Most people's taps run at similar rates. In other words, salaries and pensions don't differ wildly from one person to the next, so most Dutch households have a comparable flow of money coming in. But when it comes to wealth, the story is very different. Wealth inequality is off the charts, with some people owning far more than others. Economists use the Gini coefficient to measure this gap. 0 means perfect equality, while 1 means perfect inequality. It's a way to put a number on how evenly things are shared. The Dutch income Gini is low, one of the best in the world. This means incomes are distributed fairly evenly, and most people earn similar amounts. But the wealth Gini is extremely high, close to 1. This shows that wealth is concentrated in the hands of a few, while many have very little. This means a small group owns almost everything, while most have little or nothing. The gap between the rich and everyone else is huge when it comes to assets. Why is this the case? It all comes down to one thing: mortgages. The way people borrow to buy homes has a big impact on wealth statistics. Let's see how mortgages skew the numbers and why they make the wealth gap look even bigger than it might seem at first glance. The secret ingredient in Dutch wealth inequality: mortgages. They're not just a way to buy a home, they're a powerful force that shapes who appears rich or poor on paper, and they have a ripple effect across the entire economy. For years, the Dutch government allowed homeowners to deduct 100% of mortgage interest from taxable income, making huge loans attractive. This policy encouraged people to borrow as much as possible, since the bigger the mortgage, the bigger the tax break. It was seen as a way to make home ownership accessible, but it also had some unexpected side effects. Many took out interest-only mortgages, paying just the interest for decades, with the principal due at the end. This meant monthly payments stayed low, but the actual debt didn't shrink. For a long time, this seemed like a win-win: affordable living and a home to call your own. On paper, a homeowner might have a $400,000 house and a $400,000 mortgage. Net wealth, zero. Even after years of living in the home, their official wealth hasn't changed, because the debt matches the asset. Even as house prices rise, the debt keeps net worth low. The value of the home might climb, but so does the outstanding mortgage, especially if it's interest only. This keeps many families in a kind of financial limbo. This creates a large middle class living comfortably, but statistically with little or no wealth. They have nice homes, stable lives, and all the signs of prosperity, except when you look at the numbers. Meanwhile, a small group owns their homes outright or holds other assets, giving them high net worth. These are often older homeowners or the very wealthy, who have either paid off their mortgages or never needed one. The result: a statistical chasm between the asset-rich and the debt-heavy. On the surface, neighborhoods may look similar, but the financial realities are worlds apart. The Gini coefficient soars, not because of poverty, but because of how assets and debts are counted. The numbers exaggerate inequality, even when most people are living well. It's a paradox born from policies meant to help people own homes. What was intended as a boost for the middle class has, in some ways, deepened the divide. But mortgages aren't the only factor. Other policies, investments, and social trends also play a role in shaping Dutch wealth. And the story doesn't end here. Another driver of Dutch wealth inequality is negative wealth, especially among young people. Since 2015, student grants were replaced by loans, leaving many graduates with significant debt and few assets. A typical young adult may have tens of thousands in student loans and little savings, net worth negative. This pulls the national wealth statistics down even further. But these debts are investments in education, not signs of poverty. So the system creates a large group with zero or negative wealth on paper, even as they build for the future. The Dutch paradox deepens. Policies designed to promote opportunity end up inflating inequality statistics. But what about the other end of the spectrum, the truly wealthy? While many Dutch have little or negative net worth, a small elite holds immense wealth. Old money from the Dutch Golden Age persists, managed quietly by influential families. These fortunes are hidden in trusts, investments, and art, rarely flaunted, but very real. New wealth has also emerged from tech, logistics, and global business. Think Booking.com or ASML. The top 1% own diversified assets and have few liabilities, allowing their wealth to grow. Meanwhile, the average citizen's wealth is tied up in a single debt-leveraged home. This structural divide perpetuates and amplifies the wealth gap. But does this inequality actually affect daily life in the Netherlands? Does this record-breaking wealth inequality matter in daily life? Walk through any Dutch city and you'll see clean streets, excellent infrastructure, and a high quality of life. The Netherlands ranks near the top for happiness and well-being. Why? Because of a strong social safety net, universal healthcare, great schools, subsidized childcare, and robust public services. A family with a big mortgage may have low net worth on paper, but they live securely and comfortably. Their real wealth is in public goods and social stability, not just private assets. The Gini coefficient for wealth misses this context. In the Netherlands, zero net worth often means middle-class security, not hardship. The Dutch have socialized much of what makes life good.
So, is Dutch wealth inequality just a statistical quirk? Mostly yes, but there are risks. Heavy mortgage debt makes the economy vulnerable to housing market shocks. The government is reforming the system, phasing out interest-only loans to build more equity. Extreme wealth at the top can still influence politics and policy. Rising house prices may lock young people out of home ownership, creating new divides. The lesson statistics aren't reality, they need context. The Dutch model delivers high living standards and stability, but must adapt to future challenges. The real issue is long-term fairness and resilience, not day-to-day suffering.
Let's wrap up with a scorecard for the Dutch economy. GDP and growth, high GDP per capita, stable growth, and a global trade hub, a minus. Stability and safety, strong social contract, low crime, and a robust welfare state, a plus. Industry and innovation, leaders in tech, agriculture, and water management, A, overall. The Netherlands combines prosperity, innovation, and social support. The headline, wealth inequality, is misleading. Most people enjoy a high quality of life. The Dutch model isn't perfect. Housing and wealth concentration are real issues, but it remains a powerful example of how to build a prosperous, fair society. Final grade. A. The Dutch paradox is real, but so is their success. Sometimes the numbers don't tell the whole story.